Hello and welcome to another Stellarian Games video. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at how to make a monster for our lava terrain. This is the creature that I came up with. It is a centipede worm-looking thing that survives in the lava environment. It can pop out of the open lava, or it could pop out of the crusted lava as well. Either one works with kind of this bursting lava ring around it. The concept behind this creature really stemmed from wanting to have a creature that could survive in a lava environment, and I was trying to think what kind of a creature would live in a lava environment. Really, it has to have unique magical properties so that it can survive, which, sure, any creature can do that. But then I wanted something that sort of had a lava element, so I wanted it to look sort of like a lava creature itself. I'm a big fan of the kind of interior heated body with the crusted black skin. I really like how those creatures look, so I wanted to make another one like it. But in order to survive in a lava environment, it must have something to eat, and there's not a lot of things in a lava environment. So my thinking kind of went to it consumes metals. In a lava environment, there's going to be stray metals that are molten and kind of mixed in, or maybe not fully molten in a semi-heated but soft state. But regardless, the creature could live off of metals that it consumes. And so it would have some sort of detection to tell that there is a dense cluster ahead of metals, and it's drawn to such clusters and tries to attack it. So it would be natural for this creature to exist in that lava environment, just swimming around and consuming metals. But it would also be completely natural for it to attack an adventuring party if they're heavily armored. It's going to detect that really pure metallic source and be very interested in eating it. So that's sort of the idea behind this creature. And let's go to the table and see how I made it. To start this project, we're going to use some 1/8 inch MDF and cut out a simple oval base. I'm using a sander to clean up the edge and just make it a little bit smoother. Just rounding out all of the edges, making sure that the saw marks were eliminated. And then I'm using it on an edge to give it a little bit of a bevel. I'm drilling 2 holes through the base of it, cutting out some aluminum wire to form the armature for this creature, using the 2 wires, sticking it through those holes, and attaching it into a vise. I'm using some metal conduit and cutting it to length, and shaping it, making sure it is the shape that I wanted, and putting in some hot glue on one end, and then kind of topping it off with hot glue to fix it in place. Then I'm using some hot glue around the base to make sure that it doesn't separate from the base when it's completed. I'm using some aluminum wire and forming an arc around the back and shaping the leg structures all the way down the spine. Once I have those, I'm using a hammer to flatten out the edges, or on the ends, to form some kind of rounded feet looking appendages. Now I'm using a nippers and just putting a little bit of a nip into the feet, just to give it a little bit more texture instead of just a round paddle-like foot. I'm using some hot glue to attach all of those legs into place, and then filling in the back with a little bit of that hot glue to just kind of smoothen out the entire back surface. I'm using that hot glue and kind of pulling it out onto the legs a little bit, just so that it doesn't look like individual wires. It gives it a little bit more texture and thickness to the legs. I'm cutting off that excess bit of wire that was sticking out the front and using tinfoil and just kind of balling it up into a wedge top head portion and just shaping with my fingers, trying to get as much of the air out of it as possible, trying to get it a solid piece. And once I like the shape of it, just use a little hot glue and attach it into place. I'm going to do the same thing with the lower jaw, just shaping it into the shape that I want. This one took a little bit more trial and error to get the angle and the shape and size of it just right. But once it was there, I hot glued that into place as well. Then I'm using that tinfoil and just making some individual platelets to attach all the way down the back of this creature. Not really caring too much about the shape, but just trying to make it so that it has some separation that the glowing lava could show through when I was done. Now this is some thin wire and I'm just using it in a zigzag pattern to form kind of the splash armatures for the rest of this piece. Using some hot glue to hold it into place. Once that was cured, then I could come along with the hot glue and fill in the rest of those splash elements. I'm coating the wire, letting it drip off a little bit, coating it, letting it run down, coating along the bottom edge to really make it look like a splashed liquid. Once all that's done, I came along and clipped off the wires, tried to get it as flush as possible so it wouldn't scratch any surfaces. I'm spraying the entire thing with a white primer. I wanted to make sure that it had a good, strong adhesion to that tin foil, and also a nice light color for the lighter spray paints to go over later on. Once that's dry, I'm adding a little bit of red, then some orange spray paint, and then some spritzes of kind of a golden yellow and a light yellow, the same pattern that I used on the lava terrain itself. Now I'm coming along with some black acrylic paint and heavily coating kind of the platelets and things that really seem like the surface of the creature, trying to let that yellow show through the cracks to show that it's kind of a hot burning creature on the inside. And that is the final product. This one turned out really well. I wanted to have a nice cool looking creature that would fit into that lava environment that would be a little bit different than I guess other lava creatures that I've seen. I really like how this turned out. If you like it as well, please hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you.